how's it going?
Otherwise known as We're Back.
It's a weekly rewind. Shocking.
Yeah, so last time we did a weekly rewind, it wasn't really a weekly rewind. It was talking about should we continue to do this or not.
Uncensored.
And we got an overwhelming amount of responses.
We got a lot of love and a lot of respect and a lot of appreciation from people all around the world saying we are complete idiots if we stop doing this.
Well, no, they were kind of all over the board. There were some people that said, I understand if you need to do this, take care of yourself and your family. And there were various compromises that were proposed. Yeah. But I think the one that got me most was somebody who sent us an email from a country in which it is still punishable by death.
From Syria. So to all of our Syria...
We can't say that.
Yes, we can. They don't know who it is. We're not going to say his name.
Okay.
For all the people who follow us in countries where it's illegal to be gay, somebody in Syria sent us a nice shout out saying, keep making your videos. It's important for people like us who don't have a voice.
And so nothing makes you feel like your problems are really not that big as somebody contacting you from a place where you could die for being gay.
So we're pretty much boo-hooing because some people called us mean, icky F words.
Well, the reality is, YouTube, is we love you guys and you're part of our family, but it can be very emotionally heavy to do this.
Yeah. So we figured out what we're going to do. Brian says he's not going to censor me, which is an amazing thing because I don't really like to be censored. But what's going to happen is if I feel like we in the gay community need to take on gay people also and not just the straight people who are trying to be discriminatory towards us. So whenever in the future we do take on a fellow gay person or a gay topic that may be super sensitive where Brian may get his feelings hurt because they've attacked us.
Or where I just feel like it's a battle we don't need to pick and you're being kind of a bullheaded...
And he's not going to censor me, where he's just not going to read the comments. Because when he starts reading the comments, he feels like he needs to defend. And he feels like he has a lot of pressure on him to respond a certain way. So, now that's said, we can attack the straight people. Because all of our gay audience out there tends to support us on those topics. So who is the biggest bigot in the world these days? It's Mrs. Kim Davis.
Oh my goodness, I'm so tired of hearing about Kim Davis.
A.K.A. Rosa Parks. A.K.A. Martin Luther King.
Oh my
They've compared this bigot to every single civil rights person on the planet that ever was and ever will be. Because, of course, bigots and conservatives somehow have figured out that being discriminated against for being conservative and anti-gay is somehow persecution, which is a complete joke. You don't have to like something to do your job. You don't have to agree with something.
She is a little bit like Katniss Everdeen.
How is she like Katniss Everdeen? All the people are pissed off now.
Because she's a symbol around which a certain group of people are rallying around.
Yeah, but it's a joke. I mean, she, has a public job. This is not a religious-based country. And, I like a lot of the comparisons I've seen online where people say, okay, you're gonna hire an Amish person to work at the DMV, and she's going to refuse to let people drive because they don't believe in cars. Or better yet, you're going to hire a Muslim, to work at the DMV and basically not allow women to drive because he doesn't believe that women should have the right to drive. And it's basically a contradiction when you look at the U.S. Constitution and the way that we do things here in America. You do not have to agree with something or like something to do your job. So Kim Davis is a big hypocrite, and all these comparisons really drive me nuts. Because she's nothing like Rosa Parks.
I mean, she is built up to be an incredibly huge martyr, though. And was it you were just saying that there was some white supremacist group that's now functioning as her bodyguard?
She was released, and they've been basically told her that you have to marry people. If you violate the court order again, we are going to rearrest you. And now there's a white supremacist biker group that's basically saying they are going to defend her, and they will not allow her to be arrested again. So if she breaks the court order and the judge rules her back in contempt of court, back into jail, they're going to take arms and, defend her with their lives, which to me is crazy.
And I think it just goes to show that this last little visit to jail was just a slap on the wrist.
It's a joke.
She's got so many people, even a presidential candidate now, showing up at the jail to get her out.
Huckabee is a joke. I mean, he is a ridiculous conservative preacher who's a joke. So, I mean, he is not a real politician. He's getting like 1 or 2% in the polls. He will never win the presidency. He does this for his own book deals and his own popularity. He's a walking joke. But the person who did really irritate me the most is there are a lot of LGBT people, gay people, who support her in her views and feel like she does not have to marry gay people if she doesn't want to. And probably the most famous person that I've seen recently is Madonna's brother came out and said that she has a right to do this and that he feels like we are picking on her. which to me is like ridiculous. I mean, when you gay people say that we're picking on straight people because they won't allow us to have the same rights that we've been given in the Constitution, you really need to have your head examined, or you need to become a little bit more politically savvy.
Well, evidently, this is a lesson we are learning as a country, that there is a reason why the separation of church and state exists.
Wow, it's amazing how our founding fathers decided to put that into our laws, because they came from a country where you didn't have those rights. So I think it's, it says a lot about America where it is today and how we tend to forget our history. But we can go about Kim Davis all day, but we won't. So let's get on to some more interesting topics. Obviously, we're Star Wars fanatics. We got our new Star Wars shirts.
Captain Phasma.
Which
it's
is
Phasmatastic.
It's more of a disco dance. Well, we don't disco dance anymore, but he's got his silver stormtrooper. And
Hey, she's not a stormtrooper. She's a... I was just about to geek out really bad, YouTube. I stopped myself. But she's going to be a super awesome character in this movie. You watch. She'll be the new Boba
She's
Fett.
the cool lady from Game of Thrones, if you watch that. The big blonde lady.
Who plays a knight.
Yeah, and she's actually in a Star Wars movie, which is pretty cool, because I like her in both shows.
Character.
So there's actually in the blogs, the gay blogs, where we get a lot of our information, there's a bunch of hoopla going around about a new gay character, the first gay character in a Star Wars book.
Which I am reading.
Yeah. So, as you know, we're Star Wars geeks, and we tend to read everything that's out there Star Wars related. But this book so far, you're not liking? I mean...
I hate to say it. I mean, this is starting to fill in that time period after the end of Return of the Jedi, leading up to the new movies that are going to come out. I have to say I've not been enjoying it so far, but I mean, I'm only a few chapters in.
And from what my understanding with the gay character in the book is, he's not... he is a gay character, but the whole storyline with him is not about him being gay. He just basically tells a woman that's flirting with him, I'm gay, sorry. And somehow that makes a huge, big deal in the book.
Yeah, people are losing their minds over it, and it's such a, I mean, if somebody hadn't pointed out to you, you probably wouldn't even have recognized it.
And all the bigoted Star Wars fans are running around screaming and yelling, oh, there's a gay character in the book. Why did they have to put a gay character in the book? And the public, what's the author's name of this book?
Chuck Wendig.
Chuck Wendig made a really good response. He goes, boy, you guys are sure acting like you're part of the Empire. Mm-hmm. Which I thought was pretty cool. He's basically telling them they're a bunch of Nazis.
Yeah, so everything is kind of Force Awakens right now, and that's where we're at. You guys saw our video in which we stayed up till midnight to go shopping at Target and get all our stuff.
We got it all except for one figure. Guess which figure we didn't get? We've gotten every other figure but that one. It's crazy we cannot find that figure anywhere.
Yep. So I'm still looking forward to the soundtrack. There's the art of The Force Awakens. There's all kinds of cool stuff that's not coming out till the day the movie is released, which is just...
Yeah.
I can't even...
Which means on that day we'll be very busy running around shopping and seeing films and having a Star Wars geek day.
We were telling Daniel that when Episode 1 came out, The Phantom Menace, that we saw that movie like 3 times in
the
one
theater
day.
One day we did.
So
I don't think we're going to be dragging the kids 3 times on the first day to see the film.
Why not?
Well, we could, but that'd be kind of like child abuse. So, on to other entertainment news. A lot of people have sent me messages asking what we thought of the season of The Fosters and the finale, and we actually were very disappointed. We didn't actually think it was such a great season. The first season was awesome, and this season they've kind of gotten into this whole format where it's constant drama, constant family problems, constant lying, and then they got rid of Jesus, which was one of our favorite characters. They sent him off to wrestling camp, and then he just came back as a different actor. I guess they fired
It was so wrong. How they brought him back was just... It was like, no. Every part of your body screamed out, this is not right.
No, and even the actor they picked to replace him looks nothing like him, doesn't look anything like his twin.
Yeah.
It's just kind of weird. So we had a lot of hopes for the Fosters, and we're really hoping that the show gets back on track next season.
You cannot switch Darren's midstream. Okay?
No. And what they should have done, they should have killed him off. Because there was a big car accident at the end of the last season where they were in the car with their mother, the mother, biological mother. And they should have killed off Jose.
They probably already had a lot of the next season.
Yeah, but they could have. If they were going to fire the actor, they should have scrapped the whole storyline and did something different. Yeah, because he really doesn't work. He actually takes away from the series.
I think anything would have been better than what they did.
Yeah. So, on that note, what's next about this? Oh, guess who has a girlfriend?
It's not me.
And it ain't Selena, it's Daniel. Daniel has an official girlfriend, and I asked him if he's willing to talk about it on camera, and he went, no.
And we are not going to give too many specifics either.
We're not even going to tell you that he came home from his first dance with a hickey.
For shame. So,
which we screamed at him
you
for.
see all these gray hairs? They're
Yeah.
exactly because of stuff like that.
She's actually really sweet. She's a junior, and she is, she's very...
Going to Daniel school, that's as much as we're going to say.
Yeah, well, I'm not
about
going to tell
that.
her name. She is a Latina, and she's very pretty and very sweet. And we got to meet her mother, so which is a good sign because her mother wanted to meet us before she let her come over and hang out at our house.
Mhm.
So that's always a good indication,
But just dealing with those issues of how is my son going to behave when he's
Yeah, how is my son getting a hickey?
at a dance, at his
And-
girlfriend's house.
Why does he think his dads are liberal that we're going to let him get away with getting a hickey? It's not cool, you two. I
No.
totally chewed him out. Told him if he wanted to continue to have a girlfriend, there'll be no more hickeys. But for all those people, we have had that talk, and he understands what is appropriate and isn't, or what is appropriate and isn't appropriate, and how to be a nice young man with a girlfriend and not a
Mm-hmm.
sleaze bucket. So hopefully he will follow our advice, and he won't be Grandpa LeFew sooner than later.
Oh, HE double hockey sticks. No.
Okay, so we're about the end of this video, but before we wrap it up, it is 9/11, and on 9/11 there's a couple things that come to my mind. One is my good friend Wolfie's birthday.
Happy birthday, Wolfie.
Hey, Wolfie. Wolfie's one of those people in our lives who is more than a friend. He is like family, and he, as you guys know, he's been in our lives for a very long time. He's now retired. I used to be one of my coworkers, and we will be spending the day with him tomorrow. So happy birthday, Wolfie. Another is it's 9/11, and we all know what that day is. It's actually a really horrible day in our history, and I want to send a thoughts and prayers out to all the family members of those that are left, because I don't know, when it comes to things like death, I'm always more concerned about the people who are left behind than the people who've left us, because that's where the real emotional trauma comes in. I also want to send out some prayers for those families in Iraq and the countries that have been devastated by 9/11 and the wars, because I think sometimes we tend to forget that one action can have a huge ripple effect across the world, and sometimes we don't remember the people that are affected by these actions years later. We did make a video about Mark Bingham and all the other LGBT people who were on the flights that hit the buildings in 9/11. I will put a link down below because I think it's a great video, and it talks about their lives and what amazing people they were. And until next time, you two. Bye.